What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Redbeard here, and I am back into World of Tanks. That's right, guys. And this is another episode of Noob To Pro. And I love where this series is going. And even if it's not getting a lot of views, which it really isn't because I based my channel off War Thunder, which I still do play War Thunder, and a War Thunder video will be out shortly. However, I actually love this game. I'm 1100 and some odd number games in, which isn't a lot. I'm still a complete noob, but I am learning and I'm doing well. And speaking of this, I'm in my VK 3001H, and before I get anywhere into this tank, which is an amazing tank, especially when you have the gun that I have, the DW2 guys, that tank is just horrible. Oh my goodness! And everybody that I always used to type in chat when I was in the DW2, which you'll never see a video on the channel of me in a DW2 unless you guys specifically requested. But I'd be sitting in chat and I say, this is the worst grind ever. And people are like, oh, no, no, no. You know, M3 is the worst grind ever. No, I'm currently in the M3 right now, and it's bad, you know. It's not a good tank, but it does have a good gun. And since I played so many games in a Stug, I understand when you have very little amount of health, and you really can't take many hits, because even though the Stug had good 80 millimeters of frontal armor, it really was only in 2 locations, and pretty much anything at tier 5 would penetrate and kill you. And so, even in tier 4, I understand exactly how to use the Lee. Use that gun, be stealthy, but that's a topic for another day. I don't wish the DW2 grind on anyone, because, I mean, the VK3001H is a DW2, except with a different turret and a better gun. And this is something I couldn't do in a DW2, is penetrate a KV-1, and I'm not even aiming at the lower glacis. I'm aiming actually right above his tracks, right where his turret is. And even though this gun is accurate, it could have hit the front of the turret in a couple of those shots. But it keeps consistently going through, and that's because, just like the Stug's L70 gun, this has 157 millimeters of penetration, 135 alpha damage, which is fantastic. What wasn't fantastic, that T150 just planting one on my side, that one hurt, and it would I would come to regret that one. But I mean, already we're down 6-4, about to be 7-4, as, oh, there we go. KV2 takes out our M6. Okay, so our KV1S and our M6 are both gone. Our tier 6 heavies, well, I took out a KV1. I feel proud of that. You know, VK versus KV1. Granted, he was focused on the M6, but that's how you got to play this game. You know, it's consistency. And from playing the Stug, I know how to play stealthy. And now it's, you know, the VK is not a stealthy tank whatsoever. It's a slow tank, has very little armor. It's practically a medium tank, but it has a heavy tank gun. And as you can see, already it's 2-on-1. And pay attention to this Nashorn right here. I mean, I did not see him at this time. I was completely focused on this KV-1, not only because I knew a KV-1 was coming, but previous in the game, as he misses a shot, I plant one right in his lower glacis, low damage roll. I knew that there was a KV-2 over there somewhere, and lo and behold, there he is. And so I back up, and this Nashorn just has a field day on my edge. I'm surprised it didn't catch fire. I'm very glad it didn't. So KV-1 and Nashorn plant one into me. KV-2 misses. I could, if I just got one more shot, probably could have killed that KV-2, but it was really all for naught. But you're saying, how are you being consistent right now? Are you consistently losing? And right here, look at this birch gun right here. T150 right there, perfectly. Had he been facing that area or been scanning the map, he would have noticed that T150 sat there for a moment. But no, there's a friendly ARL tank destroyer right down there being circled by a Lux Tier 5 light tank. And our burst gun decides to take a pop shot at the Lux, which is circling within 5 meters of our friendly ARL. Granted, and thankfully he missed. However, why our artillery would even try that, considering that he could have killed our ARL, who had played an amazing game right there. He did a great job. He was one of the actually very good players on our team. But that T150 still being alive will come back to haunt us very shortly. And this T-3485, he played a pretty good game. He took the western flank, and right here, look at this. T-150 pops up, kills our Su-85, had our birch gun, you know, been scanning the map and not trying to friendly fire one of our best tanks on the game, maybe that T-150 gets killed and our SU-85 is still in play. Unfortunately, they're capping because I was the only defense on this encounter battle. I was the only one defending the cap. Our KV-1S and our M6 drivers were just not good. Same. But no matter what, guys, I stayed consistent, and I know how to play the way I would like to play. And no matter your teammates, as long as you keep that in mind, you're going to do decently. I'm not going to say you're going to do well, because I'm not a very good player. I'm average, a little bit above average. I checked the noobmeter.com, and though my stats have been going up, I'm still not very good. I'm a little bit above average right now. But 12,000 credits, 244 research points. Look at that, 876 damage, 1 kill. Numbers aren't great. I'm not posting this video because I had great numbers. I've had much better games in my VK, which I will bring you. And look at that birch gun, man. 23 damage, yeah. Already work on it, bro. Work on it. But ARL did a great job. Our T-34, 85, he did a decent job. He didn't have too much of enemy to fight, but he was pushing up a flank and trying to get around. And that's okay in my book. And look at that, 8 shots fired. Only one, I believe, was it was either a miss or a non-pen. I can't even remember because I always confuse the both. It could say, sometimes it doesn't even say anything. It will just ricochet, and I don't even hear it say ricochet, and I think it missed. So, next game, VK. All these games are going to be VK gameplays. And this time, consistency, guys. Consistency. Encounter battle. Different map, but I'm going to stay consistent every time. And even, I'm just going to say it, I get right around 800 damage each time. Kills are different. Circumstances of our team is very different. But I play to what I know. And what do I know? Considering I have 200 games in a Stug, I know how to be stealthy. I know how to... The VK has 50 millimeters of armor at best. I mean, the gun turret has 80 millimeters of armor, but even then, most KV-1s with fully upgraded will just cut through that like butter. In fact, a lot of tanks, M4 Shermans, the M4 Sherman Jumbo, T1 Heavies if they're fully upgraded, AT2s if they're fully upgraded, there are plenty of tanks that can eat the VK for lunch, but being in a Stug and knowing how to play, not taking as unnecessary risks, essentially, because in a Stug you have 350 health. In a tier 6 or 7 game, which you can sometimes get into, you're a one-shot kill for many. So I stick and I play smart. Like right here, Stug pushed up. I know that's not a good move, but I know I can kill him, and that's what I'm going to do. And so angle the armor a little bit, even as I approach, because I don't know if he's pre-aimed. He looks like he's looking at me. I don't know if he really is, but get the kill, and there we go. So 1 kill already. Sitting on the hill, so now only my turret is exposed. 80 millimeters of armor, I want to give myself the best chance possible. And I just start laying into that M4, and our friendly AT2 picks it up. But already we're winning 5-1. Completely different circumstances from that last match. But I go over here to try and support our T-34. I see that he's taking fire. I see his health going down, and he just gets annihilated, and I think, yeah, no, I'm going to signal for some help, let people know on my team that I'm over here and that our T-34 just died. That's all I signified right there. T-34 in chat says, my bad, And I look over and I see that the top tier tank on the enemy team, the KV-1, has 1 kill. And that just got me thinking, was that the KV-1? Because I didn't notice in chat at the time, was that the KV-1 that killed that T-34? I didn't know, so... I'm focusing on what's going on in the map and not really looking at who's destroying who. And sure enough, KV-1 appears. But I get a good shot on his lower glacis. So what do? Angle my armor. He misses. Try to fully aim my shot. Nothing happens. Ricochets off the side. Okay. Move a little bit over. Get on that corner edge right there. And bam. Penetration. Perfect. Granted, he does hit me right there. But as you can see, my tracks did take most of the damage. It was about a little over 100 damage, which is a low damage roll for a KV-1. And I missed a shot right there. You can't hit them all. But I keep myself armored the best way I can. And I'm hoping that he goes for the body and hits my tracks. That's what I'm hoping for. And this AT2, being a champ, trying to help us out, so I try to push up a little bit more. Push up just a few feet, angle myself again, because I see that the AT2 is taking flanking fire from somewhere. I have no idea where he's going for. He backs off. He knows he's taking something from somewhere, and it hurt a lot. So taking out a KV-1 with flanking fire is never a good idea, guys. But look at this. I love this gun. Yeah, KV-1. Most tanks, KV-1's gun man, they can't get through. The VK with this gun, yeah, it can get through. And from my Stug days, guys, I mean, I honestly don't take a lot of shots like this, but bam, that felt good. That was... Sometimes in this VK, I don't understand. I feel like a Stug with more armor, even though I'm slower. But this gun, though not as accurate as the L70 on the Stug, it just makes... It has that good penetration and that 130 average damage roll every time, all the time. And even in tier 6 and 7 games, you can consistently, as long as you know the weak spots, hit a tank and penetrate and do that damage. Very rarely do you not do that to most tanks. And so, try to get that T40. No, teammates we're rolling 13-5. So, say, okay, so you got annihilated in one match. So take a pot shot at AT2. Didn't really think this was going to do anything, but hey, you know, maybe I could crit his driver, or, you know, take out somebody. Maybe do something critical to his tank, you know, take out his drive shaft, take out his gun. Who knows? Sometimes when you just have a shot and you're winning this much, and you're really not afraid of returning fire, why not take a pot shot? You know, you could get lucky, you could crit, you could do something. You could take out one of his players, make him use a med pack if he has it. If he doesn't, even better. But consistency, guys, and as you can see, 15-6, completely different game for that last one. Completely different, you know. Second place mastery badge. You know, that's okay. I didn't really do a lot. 834 damage, less damage than the last time, but I had an extra kill. You know, I wasn't quite as accurate as I was in that last game. But even when we did have that sweep, I was consistent. I took on a KV-1 with an AT2. You know, fully upgraded KV-1 driver who knows what he's doing. An AT2 and a VK are not a big issue at all, because he knows that he can just, you know, run around an AT2 because they are slow. They are essentially tortoises of the tank world. They can't traverse well. They're just slow, sluggish, and that's how you get around an AT2. And a VK, good KV-1 driver knows, even if I'm angled 50 millimeters angle, you know, I'm maybe gonna get 75, 80 millimeters of full armor if I'm angled perfectly and he shoots at my angled armor, you know. So it's not easy being a VK driver going against KV-1s, but I'm consistent, and that's all you can ask for. You know, learn from your mistakes. I've had plenty of games where, especially in this VK, you know, the first couple games I had, even though I was doing better, I would just run out and, you know, oh, I'm a heavy tank, let me go brawl with the heavy tanks. And I would take on two KV-1s, and sure enough, in 30 seconds, I'm dead. You know, and I was just like, oh, well, you know, I gotta kind of treat this like a Stug, I guess. And that's what I did. I treat the VK like a Stug. I'll go down heavy lane, which I wouldn't normally do with a Stug unless I'm sitting far back. You know, I'll go brawl, but I know I can't use my armor for anything. Yeah, armor is last. I'll sacrifice some health to get some shots in, but I know the one big thing about this VK is the gun. And when you're in a tier 5 or 6 match, this gun can really, really do damage. And speaking of that, VK3601H. Ah, look at that. We'll have words later. All right, VK. And so I took a pot shot right there. You know, wasn't really expecting much, but hey, I take shots if I have a chance. You know, take a shot at somebody. I'll take a shot at somebody, especially in this game. There's already a Panther 2 right up there. If artillery is smart, you know, they're already going to be taking shots at me. As long as I kept moving, I should be good. I could possibly take some damage, or already could get lucky. But hey, maybe I get lucky and disable his main gun right from the get-go. It's already, you know, there's so many variables in World of Tanks that could go right or wrong for you. And so, sometimes I take risks, but I know how and when to take my risks. You know, if I want to take a pot shot at a tank that it probably won't go in, you know, if I have the chance, like I did back then, I will. But moving on, consistency, guys, and this is a completely different game. You know, a little bit of lag right there. You know, it's World of Tanks. It happens sometimes, but right here, Churchill, T-34-85, with me and a T-150, you know, I like our odds right here. And so, I already know that that T-34-85 is gone, so why not start working? Churchill wants to show me his side, I'll take it all day. It's much easier to shoot at the massive hips of a Churchill than shoot at that small turret. And speaking of which, I did have a Churchill, and I played about 50 or 60 games in it. I had it fully upgraded, and I just didn't like it. I don't know about a lot of people. You know, when you're looking at the stats, when you first starting World of Tanks, you pick which tanks you want to get to. I picked all tier 5 tanks. I said, which ones do I want to go to? I said, I looked at the stats of the Churchill, and I was like, oh, you get a good gun. As I take and oh, World of Tanks, stop trolling me. I know this VK only has 80 millimeters of frontal armor, and as I penetrate the side of an angled side right there, I take right at the driver's port of a front side of a VK, barely angled, with 157 millimeters of penetration, and I can't get through. But the next time I do, World of Tanks, oh man, you know how to troll at the right circumstances. But speaking on the Churchill, I just didn't like it. I chose that tank, said it had a good gun, and then you look at the stats and it says, oh, 100 millimeters for the turret and 197 millimeters for the front. I said, oh, that's a great brawling tank. You know, if I unlock that good gun, you know, I can really brawl with that tank. No, look into your tanks before you really get to them, because to unlock that that best gun, I think it's a 7-pounder, if my memory serves me correctly. You know, you have to have that secondary turret, and that turret only had 80 millimeters of frontal armor, and it wasn't as sloped. It was actually more flat than the original one, and so it made it an easy target. And actually, that's why when I go against Churchills, I know how to kill Churchills, especially in a VK. I'm not worried about Churchills at all. They have a lot of frontal armor, but if you just aim for that turret, you'll knock out their gun, you'll take out their commander, their gunner, and you'll do damage every and all the times. And so, back into the game. Consistency. Right now we're being capped, and we're capping, but even though we started capping right around the same time, if I don't do anything right now, we're gonna lose. It's just a fact. Even though we have 2 people, I believe, in the cap circle right now. Oh, there we go. Second one is entering right about now. They have a Tog, and wow, Artie. Let me take a shot at Artie. And oh no, nope. I pulled up, tried to get the Tog, and I just whiffed all that. And we start to pull ahead right here. But just for good measure, let me shoot this M37 in the cap, reset the cap just enough, because they have a secondary guy in the cap right there, and I just don't know where he is. And how that didn't go through, I actually think it missed. I don't even know, to be honest. So pick up the kill, set the cap, and look at that. We win again. Let's take a final parting shot at Artie, and Lord knows where that shot went. It was fully aimed, but hey, it's World of Tanks, guys. Hey, look at that, 3rd class mastery badge. Not that great. I played a part. 855 damage, 1 kill. You know, these games aren't that great, but it's consistency. Sometimes you'll win, sometimes you'll lose. You know, it's really based on your teammates. But as long as you stay consistent, no matter what, and you learn from your mistakes, you will do much better in this game. So thank you for watching. As always, I will see you on that battlefield.